Yeah, we live, man. We live. Logik 416, Mindbender Supreme. We are here, man. The Reminisce Show, man, where we just, carry on traditions of African ways of Sankofa, man, connecting the past, present, and the future. Moving forward, connecting with us, doing what we got to do, man. Today is a very special day. A unique day because we've been doing these lives consistently for a while now. This is the first time where we got a guest. I know we've been talking about it for a while now. We were saying we had a whole bunch of people in mind that we still got in mind, but we never actually got to manifest. And now we're here, man. We're here. But before we get into our special guest, how are you feeling, man? How are you doing?
I'm still climbing up, just doing the best I can to raise my energy and my spirits, and remember the ancestors had it harder than me. And I mean, not even to just get into comparisons. I saw somebody write something very, very powerful and pretty interesting. They said, it's still the 1960s. They just took the signs down. And I was like,
oh, snap.
I was like, yo, that says a lot. That says so much. Wow. Yeah.
I take it in like that.
Yeah, I was just like, that says so much about the world. So, and I just thought in my brain, I just keep thinking the only thing that's really changed in 50 years is the internet. It's like, yeah. Besides that, all the struggles are the same. All the problems.
It has always been that, for every generation, that's why we started, movements like Stolen from Africa and so on and so forth, and why we talk about the things we do. It's incredible, man. But we keep pushing on, keep doing our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
we gotta do.
Really quickly, I saw this. I ended up seeing this show last night. I was just surfing around, and I saw a show called Love in the Time of Corona. And it's a 4-part. Okay. It's a little 4-part show that's half an hour each, and it just surprisingly had this amazing acting and all this relationship insight. It had some stories. It had a story about a black family that's trying to have a baby, and then the brother is out jogging, and then he sees the Ahmaud Arbery shooting, and then he's like, "Yo, man, I don't know if I want to have a baby anymore." And it's real. It's just a real. And his wife's like, "Yo, we're in the lockdown. Let's just chill. We're gonna be off for a year. Let's have a baby." And then he's like, "I don't know if I want to bring a baby to the world." So it's just really good.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that
where could this be found? Where can we peep this?
I just found it on my normal bootleg spot on F Movies, but I mean, I think if you just type in "Love in the Time of Corona" in Google, something might pop up.
Right.
Or just check your local bootlegger, and if you need to, holler at me.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, okay. But how about you, man? How about you? How are you doing?
Hey, man, just doing well, man. Just trying to navigate this new world that we're in. Everything is all digital, including schooling on many levels, and it talks about going back to phase 2 and what that's going to mean, and I'm thinking about the winter, because I don't like to be uncomfortable and cold, so I'm trying to figure out how do I set myself up so it's as smooth as it possibly can be, but. Everything is blessed. God is good. Just keep moving forward. And just having a heart of gratitude, really. So.
Whew, that's real. That's good. That's good. I gotta write that down because that's a great reminder. Yeah.
Write that down,
Yeah. Oh, I'm just surrounded by the wisdom of my friends, My friends say brilliant things all the time, oh my God.
Well, the fact that you keep these types of individuals around you, that says a lot right there. What I mean?
Thank you. Shout out to Colleen. What up, Colleen? Hope you're having a good evening in the comment section. And random little things that have happened this week. Quickly, the J Electronica album. The original one from 5 to not 10 years ago, but many years ago, the one that got sat on forever, that officially leaked. The J Electronica,
I heard about that. Yeah,
the J Electronica album that had a Rich Kid beat on it. So
that was, you know what? I did see a post. I did see Rich Kid post something along those lines, man. Okay, do you want to speak more about that?
yeah, it was really good because like Jay Electronica.
First of all, like for those who don't know who Rich Kid is, man, let them know who Rich Kid is, man. It's some
Man, Rich Kid is one of Toronto's finest, one of Canada's greatest. That means one of hip hop's very best producer MCs. Yo, he's down with Socrates. He's down with Mississauga. He's down with enough people, man. Rich Kid is built with hella people. Smash.
He's even produced for Drake as well too. You know, just throw that out there. You know, he's definitely did his thing, man, and a real cool guy, man. Does a lot of stuff with the Remix Project and gets back to community and youth mentorship. So a lot of incredible things, man. Big up Richie.
Rich Kid been phenomenal forever. So yeah, man. I remember when Jay Electronica came and performed at the Phoenix maybe 5 years ago, for a Canadian Music Week show one time.
Yeah.
That's the time where he officially talked about it. He's like, yo, I'm happy to be in Canada. Canada's got a great hip hop vibe, and I gotta let you all know I got one of your dudes that's got a beat on my album. And he's like, the dude's name is Rich Kid, and everyone was like, ah, blah, blah, blah. So it was great, and Jay Electronica kept his word and kept that good song on the album, and the album officially leaked. Like that song leaked a few years ago, but the full album finally leaked,
and it's on there,
and it's still on there, and yeah, like it's just the original classic Secret Jay Electronic album. Mad shout out to the one that he put out earlier this year too, with Jay.
Right.
So we got 2 Jay Electronic albums this year. That's a small miracles you gotta love in 2020. So.
Crazy, man. Okay, man. Looks like we have our special guest is back. Hopefully the sound and everything is working. Lost a quick second and it came back. You know what I mean? Like
they there?
Yeah, I'm gonna just jump right into this, man. Let me see. He's plugging this real quick. Okay, man. Testing 1, 2. Are we live? We in?
Yo.
We here.
Salute, man. Salute. Big up, man, the one and only Kalmplex legendary, man. Like, yo, you spent time downtown. If you've been at any like hip hop concert show, you already know what it is, man. Kalmplex is always in the building, always representing the community, the people, documenting, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we got to tell our own stories. You already know what it is, and I'm sure we're going to get into that in a bit, man. But yo, big up to you, man. Thank you for making the time and coming through. Our first official guest.
Yo, you're our very first family guest, and this is just how it should be. I quickly just want to say, like, if people call me Mr. Front Row, and I've very much been to 10,000 concerts, but if there's one person in the city that is on my level and possibly above it and been to more concerts and lives this history more than me, like family, music, culture level, it is you. I'm so proud. And like we all like it ain't a competition, it ain't nothing, but I just gotta say, like
it's respect,
it's just real, recognize real, and I've seen you at 10,000 concerts. So
oh shit. My bad.
It's all good.
All good, man. Hey, we getting used to this technology, man. We out here, man.
Yo, we're working through this.
Working through it all, man.
Oh,
yeah, man. But but first and foremost, how are you feeling?
How are you doing, Kalmplex?
I'm feeling blessed. Give thanks and praise to the Most High for life. You know, alive and well, healthy, happy. You know, healthy, blessed. You know, that's the way we're living out here. You know, so give thanks for life. Above ground, every day above ground. We have the chance to do what we couldn't accomplish the next day. You know what I mean? Enough people didn't wake up today. You know, so thanks.
That's
like
real.
Every morning, just you wake up, you got this. You know. So feeling
that's
blessed.
real.
Same energy, man. That's what it is, man. You know, just that mindset of gratitude and just recognizing, like what we have. And being present too. That's peace, man. But like real quick, I actually want to go back to concerts because my mentor, you're big enough, Kalmplex, for being at more concerts than you. And you know, people who know you know that you're at every concert. So if that means, you know, they're at more concerts than you, that's just insane. You know what I mean? And I can definitely vouch for that too, because, you know, there's many events that I come to, including random ones, which I wouldn't expect to see certain people. And then I see Kalmplex in the cut. I'm like, oh snap, what up?
Yeah, we're like
a quick like, yes, we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
only like 5 special heads in the city know, and like you're one of them. But I gotta say, one of my life's very greatest moments of all time was captured on camera by Kalmplex when I got on stage with Ghost and Ray and Ason and Scratch with Wu-Tang at Dundas Square. So like, I'm eternally grateful. That's one of many. So like, but what is like? Kalmplex. What is one of your great Toronto concert memories that do you have a story, or we just want to just shoot the shit, just be real easy? But
yeah, as we reminisce, man, a Reminisce Show.
I mean, I think one of the greatest, if not, I mean, well, there's so many, but like, it's got to be Outkast, Area 51.
No. Andre in the pink Minotaur.
That was sorry.
The Andre in the pink Minotaur suit.
The pink Minotaur suit, the blonde hair, the Ray-Ban, the silver Ray-Ban. You know what I mean? They coming out like that was just like summer vibe. July 23rd, I believe it was. Don't remember.
When was this?
July 23rd.
Like 2000 or like.
Okay.
2001 or
yeah, something like that.
Wow. Yeah. Yo, did you record any of that?
I don't know if I got that recorded. But
wow,
like a whole, that was like the Area 51 tour. So it was like Paul Oakenfold, Carl Cox, Moby. I don't know if David Bowie was on that one or the one before. But yeah, it was a whole bunch of people, and just like so Area 51 happened where I guess, what are we calling it now? It's not Sound Academy now. What Rebel?
Rebel.
So before it was Sound Academy, before it was Rebel, it was Paulson Peak at that time.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
History.
Okay.
No, and so Outkast was outside. So picture us being like, I guess where now, I guess where the parking lot is for the drive-in movies. So that's what it was, you know what I mean? And just like the electricity, the vibe, like bombs over Baghdad.
Oh wow, I can imagine.
Like it was spectacular. So that was definitely like. That's definitely like, I mean, it's Andre 3000, you know what I mean? So that was a highlight of things that I've seen, just because like Outkast is number one for me. But like I've seen many shows, like, you know, when Lal opened up for Tricky at the Phoenix Concert Theater, and Tricky afterwards, Tricky in the dressing room really bigged up Rose, was just like, yo, you have a voice like an angel. So that was blessed to like be in that room. Bjork at on the island the first time. I think that one for Virgin Fest. Was it Virgin Fest? It might have been.
You saw that one across on Toronto Island, that Bjork show?
Yo, Elixir. It was during Press Pause Day, so Elixir, Fathom, Lease, they did a graffiti. We're doing some art there, so like afterwards we all like linked up, and it was just like we're just, you know, Bjork on the island, whatever was your preference of mind altering substances or whatever, or alcohol or whatever. Yeah, like that was just like, you know, being on the island and hearing Bjork, and just like, oh, that was just the days where, you know, people care. Not to say that people don't care about the crowd. It's different now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a drumless. I'm a raver. Like, you know, I grew up going to like parties at the Science Center. Like, that ain't never gonna have like a rave at the Science Center. That's like, wow. Sorry, I have forgotten about more places that I've been that are better than the place that the people now will ever see in Toronto, hands down.
Yes.
You don't know. You missed it. You missed it.
Yes.
You think it was good? Oh, like with the last like 10 clubs just closed down now. Like we had warehouse parties. We were going to raves. You know, the airport hangars. You know what I mean? Like De La Soul, that rave with De La Soul, like what 2000? It was like 2002. It might have been.
Yeah, that was the era, man. 2002. Yeah.
Like where literally like be like, okay, I'm gonna go to this party. I don't know where it's at. We go to Nathan Phillips Square. We get on a bus with people we don't know, randoms, and then we get dropped off at some place we don't know where we're at, and then we're partying until like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. And you know, it's a vibe. Like, you know, the various rooms. It wasn't just one room. It was like 6 rooms, 7 rooms, and like each room was like decorated like artistically, like the walls. Like I remember raves. Like, I think the one with De La Soul had there was one room where the artwork was like the pharaohs and Egyptians, you know what I mean? So like had like the chill room with the pillows and the blankets and the bubbles, and you know, people hugging you with the fun fur, you know, people
word.
You know what I mean? It was those days where you're just like, you know, this was the way where it was really bonding. And then, like, you know, because with the history of, you know, hip hop coming from Jamaica, big up Cool Herc, because I've been online seeing all these people who are not of the culture be like part of it. Yeah, you've been there, but sorry, Cool Herc is Jamaican. That's
Jamaica.
So
the seed.
That's the seed. So
the roots.
Lest we forget.
Period. Done.
Yeah, you could, but the turntables came from Jamaica. So
sound system from Yard.
The sound system, like the tune, the readiness. So like, you know what I mean? Like the vibes, you know, we had that camaraderie, and like, you know, back when, you know, of us, you know, were on Queen Street, you know, slinging our mixie or whatever we were promoting, like out to like 3-4 o'clock in the morning outside System Soundbar. You know what I mean? Those jungle days. Like, yo, okay, cool, whatever, move. You know, and those days, like the Fez Boutique days, the NASA days,
NASA, Fez Boutique.
At Comfort Zone, you know, like
Elemental, yes.
Foundation.
Obviously, big up to you, Mind Better. You know, you don't know. Like the history, people don't understand. Like people just Toronto just didn't just like spring up and isn't just like, you know, we put in foundation, we put in the work so that y'all can be all flippant about who you think is good and who you think is not good. Like, yeah, we don't have camaraderie. Like, listen, like Screwface Capital. Like we can be Toronto One Love all you want, but at the end of the day, OG, like it's Screwface Capital over here. So just know that's and the fact that y'all didn't love us. Everyone want to talk about how like Jamaican slang is running things, but like none of y'all wanted to like even consider yourself in the same category as being Jamaican back in the day. Okay, going to school when at a time where people would be like, "Oh, I'm black, but I'm not Jamaican. I don't want to associate with being Jamaican." Wow. On the news was being like thugs,
drug
dealers.
Exactly.
Now everyone
criminal.
Like
criminal.
So like you when you come back to me, like don't like I have a I wouldn't say a chip on my shoulder. I have a crown on my head, and it comes with much history. So
jeez.
To me anyway, because open hand to your face. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Stolen from Africa, man. You see it, man. Stolen from Africa, yo.
Amazing.
I'm Ghanaian and Jamaican. I've been to Ghana. I've been to slave camp. I know my history. I'm not like some of you people who don't know who your daddy is and who your mom is. Like I know where my bloodline comes from. And some of y'all are just trying to erase us as the indigenous people of the world. First and foremost, that's what the world needs to teach. The world, that we are the first. Because if people were to teach that, then a lot of the fuckery that's going on in the world wouldn't be happening, because you couldn't teach it, because you'd be like, we came from from the Africans. And like, I don't even want to be using black, because black is not who we are. Like, this melanated being, you know,
we are Africans.
That's it. Simple and plain.
Yeah.
Big facts, man. Major facts, yo.
But yeah, no. You know, Jamaican roots, and like we put in. Oh, so what I was talking about, to bring it back, history. So like, you know, when the Jamaicans left Jamaica, they were either going to New York, London, or Toronto. And so what people don't realize, the history of Toronto, we have a longer history of culture relevant to hip hop than someone like, you know, than Atlanta, than LA. You know what I mean? Like, and people recognize that. Just like, no, just come on. We've been here. We were, people from New York were coming to Toronto the same time that it was happening. So that's why there's so parallels and there's such talent, because the Jamaicans, the Trinities, whatever, came up over here. So we've grown. We've cultivated our scenes. And although, you know, we are not like America, where, you know, they have like 50,000 radio stations that can play our music. We had 10 years ago. Now we have maybe one, and that's throughout the country. You can't do a Canadian-wide tour and think that your music is going to be played on radio stations, because we only have maybe 2 stations in all of Canada that really play our music. So that's what people don't comprehend. Like, you know, the foundation is being laid. We've laid down the foundation. We have the talent. We just don't have the infrastructure. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not product management, but, you know, like A&R, like professional management, artist management. You know, artist development. You know what I mean? Like in
and just to really navigate the system, yo. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have all the Snoop Dogs, but and Biggie Smalls, but no Puff Daddies and no business. Like we have all the talent in the world, but as far as the business people to take that and actually maximize the talent of the artists in Canada, we've never had. Which is why the artists always go south or east or wherever, go to Asia, go to Britain, go to America, and it's like, yo, like, why does Cardinal have to leave? Why does Socrates have to leave? Why does Julie, like, you know, these people shouldn't have had to do world tours to just get, you know.
But like this, like, I actually want to go back to like Kalmplex's point about, like, you know, really hitting home that we have like a history, we have a foundation here, especially with, you know, like Jamaican cultures and other cultures as well. It's like, you know, we've been representing even during a time when, you know, it wasn't cool and it wasn't, you know, attractive. You know, I want to ask you, Kalmplex, you know, because, like, you know, when you go to concerts and shows and stuff like that, you're always documenting your filming and you know, in the context of, you know, preserving culture, you know, what does that mean to you? You know, like why did you take it upon yourself to, you know, document and to ensure that you're capturing these stories and before they get lost and whatnot?
I mostly heard what you say, because I don't know your mic, but it's kind of fuzzy. But why I took it on, because like I'm important, so I was just like, I need to document where I've been, because my writing's on this, you know, chicken scratch. I'm not gonna remember, so let me make this a journal for me. But aside from the ego of being it about me, because it wasn't about me, because I wasn't recording myself, it was recording where I've been. But where I've been is like 5 or 6 places in a night. You know what I mean? I can go from one show to bike and I'm on a bike, right? I don't drive a car. I pedal power across the city from
see you all the time.
With my BMX. Now it's my, you know, my 1-speed, you know what I mean? Like, so for me it was about knowing that I know I'm talented and I know I'm great, and I think the people around me are great. Let me see what's going on, you know, because we have. I always thought, like, yo, like, I'm gonna be somebody, and I think the people around me who I'm surrounded by are very talented too. So like, let me go support, because like I believe in Toronto. I believe in Toronto. No, like, I mean, like, you were like, I rep Toronto like nobody's. I've been repping Toronto since before anyone give a fuck about Toronto. Like,
Facts.
I mean, so for me, like, Toronto made me the person I am, and I'm amazing. Toronto made you know, we're amazing. So it's just like, let me record this, as well as because I know how they roll. You know, they you know, in 30, 50 years, they're not gonna say who was doing what, who was where. They're gonna erase us like they always do. So for me, it was just like, nah, I want to make sure that I have the footage of the blackness that was created, that has been flourishing in Toronto, because everyone else who ain't us wants to tell our stories and profit off us. And I was just like, I just need to know that, like, I have my story and I have other people's stories, so you know, it's there from melody being, and not so dry business. So that was kind of my reckoning, because I saw, you know, the potential that Toronto had, and I was right. So yeah, that's what's up, you know, just supporting people, because this is like, there's so many talented people, from like visual artists, singers, rappers, like dancers, and just even people having, like, because I don't need just like art shows or concerts I go to. I go to, like, you know, political talks where we're talking about what's going on in the city, what's going on in, like, you know, when Marcus Garvey's son came to town, you know what I mean, and just like when Angela Davis, like, you know, and all these things, like, you know, I've been to Cuba. I got to meet Assata Shakur when I was in Cuba. Like, I care about, like, the well-being of my people, because I know that they want to eradicate us off the earth. So I was just like, let me just make sure that, like, I'm a source that archiving and
just
making sure
to,
can do that.
Yeah, like just to add to that, like, you know, that absolutely, to add to that, you know, you being concerned about your people is also you creating space for community, you know, to showing genuine care, and then that also gets reciprocated, and that's how you create community. You know, that care, that each one teach one, we look out for each other, and we build for the common cause. You know, so big up to you for always doing that. Like, since as far as I've known you, and that's been, you know, over like 15 years easy. You know, you've always brought that kind of energy, man. So big up.
Yo, I love the way you talk about history and how much you're just a true part of it. Like, as Logik says, like, just eternal thanks, and like, you've just been on the same path. We're all similar people, just keeping it real, not making it about our egos or about money. It's just about truth and culture, and just preserving Black history. You know, international African truth. You know, but Kalmplex, I wanted to ask you, like, what is maybe a couple of the big turning points? Yo, mad love to Mark. Big up to Mark.
Oh, salute.
But yes. Kalmplex, real, like, it's so good to just have these family gatherings. I've had my own personal issues. Before we just start talking about, like, the current times, because we really want to know what you think about the current days. But one thing that we do is just very much reflect on history and go through the ages. And Logik and I love to just reflect on African history, going back centuries to decades to just, you know, 5 or 10, 20 years, and, you know, because people forget what happened 2 weeks ago. But I just wanted to know, like, I remember I've seen you in so many things. One of the things that I think I remember seeing you at was Master T's last show at the Much Music parking lot. I don't know if you were there, but I've seen you at so many things. My brain starts to blur. But, like, I wanted to ask you, like, 2 of the major turning points you've seen in Toronto history, like a good moment or a bad moment, or just like 2 major epic things that you're like, yo, things are different now.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what's going on with the mic, whatever. It's kind of hard. You guys are cutting out. But did you ask me 2 things that are different from then and now? Was that the question?
Or like two major turning points in your Toronto history. Like, I know one turning point for me, for example, is like when BET came in. Like, just shit was different. But like just 2 random things that are like, yo, shit, like, you know, could have been like a magazine starting, or a clothing line starting, or like an artist going somewhere. I don't know, just like significant moments in your Toronto history.
I think I think things like, you know, back in the day when, you know, we had 416, you know,
Yeah, graffiti.
where
Yeah,
we had
graffiti 416.
graffiti out in the parking lot, and we also had like Styles and Progress where we would, you know, do graffiti and stuff like that, and like people could come and see what the vibe was, the community out, you know, was out on the street, and that happened for a while. And I think when Condo City essentially came through and started tearing things down, that was a breaking point. But also, you know, the last rave that happened was, and I was there. I was like one of the last two people to get in with Eminem at C&E place.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
At the Automotive Center?
The last rave, I was there, like literally squeezed in, and then they shut the gate and nobody else was let in.
Wow.
And I paid like even whatever, but it was like they oversold that. It was like it was rammed to get in, and then got there, and like, you know, M did his thing, and that was a blast. But when the city decided that like, you know, we have raves anymore, that was the beginning of the end, because that was where, you know, they shut down large gatherings, warehouse parties, and all that kind of stuff. And then now you have bar culture where it's just bottle service. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying $200 to drink some champagne that costs $40. That's the culture that we're in now, or well, pre-COVID, where it's just like, if you don't have money, you don't look nice, you don't have a fancy car, you can't get into this bar, and also we don't like black people, so we don't actually. We
only like a couple. We'll have like 3 or 4 of y'all, but like not a lot.
But you have to look a certain way. Like, you know what I mean? So when the culture got branded into, you know, non-first indigenous people of the world, you know, having the reins of who gets let into the clubs and the parties, that's where stuff took a turn for the worse. It's just like people who aren't culture dictating who can participate in listening to it. You know what I mean? And then and turn into a classist thing, as opposed to back in the day where it's just like, yo, like we would have ciphers until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning outside NASA or outside Gypsy Co-op, and just be like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember like Tony from Scandalous, you know what I mean? You know, him rapping like Empire and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we just be vibing after the club was done, and it wasn't a thing. It was just like, we're all cool, we're all chilling, we're all hustling, trying to make it, you know, out of you know, this small town big city thing, and but there was this energy, because it was so raw and so new and fresh, because we were hungry, we were really hungry. And we were, you know, like, our CDs $5 on the corner. Everybody, you know, Georgie Porgy, Genex, you know. So I think once, like I said, the condo culture came in, and once they shut down the raves, you know, that was just like, they're like, yeah, we don't want you guys to have fun anymore. And it's just like, how are you gonna restrict people from dancing and listening to music? Like, that's a cultural thing, that's a spiritual thing. You know what I mean? Like, no, what you want to listen to, and you know what I mean, like being free to like express yourself in that way is so therapeutic. You know what I mean? It's that energy. We're living beings, we're energetic beings, and we need to be able to like be around each other in ways besides like computer stuff like that. So be able to, it's like how you feel, to make the music move you from a beat that you've never heard before. And that was the thing. Like we weren't necessarily discriminatory of like, it needs to be top 40. Like, yo, like you're at a rave and you're listening to this music from this DJ, like you're listening to like, you know, Goldie, you know, Ronnie Size, like DJ Hype,
Spooky.
Love dropping was like Teen Spirit after like playing Most Def, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was just like, we would just listen, It didn't matter. But now, like, it has to be. And we were dancing. People don't dance now. They hold up the wall.
Like really dancing.
Moving.
This culture has I had to like give up dancing because you can't dance and record the show if you want a good shot.
Yeah,
you want a good shot.
Yeah. No, it fucked up the camera. No, you fucked up the camera.
It takes skill to be able to like hold the camera in a mosh pit, but Run the Jewels and Mike and Killer Mike looking at you like, what do you think you're doing? I'm like, I think I'm doing my job and I'm doing it damn well on me, bro. Like, flying over my head, still getting the shot, holding 5 hours. You know, I got to hear Fidel Castro speak when I was in Cuba, and that man talked for 5 hours straight, no papers in front of him, dates, times, every relevancy, and I had my hand up. Like, I know it, like, it hurts, but like I can hold my hand up for a long time if I need to get the shot. So like, don't test me.
Facts.
I need new people, whatever. Like,
yes.
Trust me. Like,
yo,
that's so peace, man.
No, because I've had to cuss out people. I'm just like, you see me here, and you're gonna do some fuck shit. Yeah, I'm gonna cuss you, and you're gonna look at me funny. I wouldn't do that to you. Say excuse me. And like, where are your manners? People don't have no bum. So it's like you have to elbow on their bumbleclad head to get the message sometimes. But yeah, so when the city comes in to stop the gathering of people so that they could commune with the spirit of music that's healing, that's when shit went way south. You know?
Right. Yeah. A quick shout out to all the documentarians. Mark Molino, very much person in the trenches, capturing history.
I see you too, Mark, man. I see you.
Capturing our history. Yo, it hit me a really quick story. One of my favorite, saddest moments that I lost is I was in the crowd recording Odd Future at the Phoenix. And then Tyler's like, everybody come up on stage. And then I jumped up on stage and I was still recording. And I turned around and I got a shot on stage. And he's like, everybody crowd surf. So I ran out and I tried to jump in the crowd. And I jumped in the crowd and it fucked up the camera. And I lost that shot. So like, that's one of my all-time greatest sad shots that I never. But like, it's hard to capture the history and be a part of it. But so like,
man, that's real.
But Kalmplex, 5 hours holding your hand up to get Castro, that's legendary.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's gotta be done, you know. Practice.
Straight up, it's right.
Yeah, so like real quick, Kalmplex, you know, you're talking about, you know, the power of music and just like the healing and, you know, social gatherings and people coming together, and now we're in this like kind of crazy world that we're living in. You know, like, well, what are some ways that you have like maintained like connection? You know what I mean? Because that's something that's so important for us. You know, like what are some ways that you have gone about that to ensure that you're connected and, you know, in your energy and all that? Did you hear that? No, I was just. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can hear you. It's breaking up. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, like, you know, with like, you know, social distancing and all that, like, how do you like stay grounded with your energy? Like, what do you do to stay connected, like, with people?
Oh, what do I do to stay grounded and connected?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you know, eat fruits and vegetables. I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten meat in like 25 years. So like, you know, I'll be riding a bike, being in nature, especially in these times, you know, get as much when the summer was out, get as much sun as possible, get the melanin popping, eat fresh fruits and vegetables, you know, get out in nature, you know, be mindful of the space that you take up. And like, just because we're, you know, in these bodies doesn't mean that we're the only ones. Like, my life isn't any more relevant than the animals, you know, and the trees. Like, the trees hold so much knowledge, you know, like they've been around for 600 years. Like, the stories that they could tell about, what has happened here or wherever they're located, and like respecting it, because at the end of the day, like when I die, my vessel is gone, but my energy will still remain. But like, we live on that, I believe everyone deserves clean air, water, fire, food, shelter, but we're not respecting the earth. And I think it's really important that in order to stay connected, at least like be grounded and like gardening and be one with the earth and planting and be thankful that like I have access to that. The fact that we have access to like trees, you know what I mean, that we have access to green space, that we can like meditate and think about what's going on. Like even though like right now we got this race war going on, which is really a division tactic, because the powers that be know that it's our time to rise. But if we're only concentrating on Black Lives Mattering, and we're not concentrating on like ourselves internally, with this time that we've had in this lockdown, you know what I mean, we've had like what 6 to whatever to like really be present and mindful. And like if you haven't like had to deal with your demons and the stuff that childhood, from now, like from bosses to like parent trauma to school trauma to like ex trauma to like your own accountability, we've had that time to look at ourselves. And some people maybe decided not to look at themselves and not ground themselves, which that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But I feel for us, this time was really for us to like get sent to figure out where we want to be. Like what is it that what is my purpose, where do I want to go, how do I want to initiate where I'm going, how am I building community? Because right now we need to be building community with each other, because what's going on right now is they're dividing the divine masculine and divine feminine. So we're like, oh well, you have to protect Black women, but like Black aren't safe. And it's like, no, like we can't just protect one, you have to protect all. It's not like Black women, Black men, trans women, everyone in between. And it, for us as a community, you know what I mean? Because if we're not whole and thinking about that, it doesn't matter. You can scream protect Black women all you want, but if the divine masculine is hurting and doesn't know how to protect himself, he's not going to protect her. And if the divine feminine is hurting, she can't heal herself, she can't help you. We all have to help heal each other. But I mean, intrinsically, we have to be able to heal ourselves and ourselves. But if we're continuously divided on the male, female, divine masculine, divine feminine, and war with each other, that's what they want. Because we need to come together to build a community. Because what people don't realize is that, like, there's a food shortage coming. They're not talking to you about how they're burning down California, they're burning down the farms, all those fires. That's all the farms. There's like a land tornado going on that happened in Iowa.
I seen that, man. That's crazy.
Of the corn, and that's a huge percentage of North America's corn. You know what I mean? And like, how are we gonna have to deal with that? We've been in isolation, so like, and come winter, we're gonna be in more isolation, because that's a fact. So do you have like how are you preparing? How are you, do you have a barbecue? Do you have a fire pit? Have you stocked up on food? Do you know who in your community? Maybe you have rice, beans, and then someone's got squash, someone's got a pot. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna need to come together and help each other and to formulate this new world. Because right now we are in a manifestation period where we are literally in a place where we are living real time, the paradigm shifting. You know what I mean? The old world, we're never going back to that old world. Like,
that's
honestly,
gone.
like at least like 2-3 years we're gonna go to concerts again. Let's be real, fam. Like, I'm sorry, like we can protest and have 50,000 people together, but like if I can't go see The Weeknd, like, you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna sanction that. So like this people thinking that we're going back to no, that old world is done. We are leaving the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, where we are the new Renaissance. It's into our favor. It's not to be without obstacles. And the powers that be and the evil people, you know, they know who they are. They are doing whatever they can to try and
take away freedom.
Still control, but they know it's done. But they're gonna take as many people as they can with. So, you know, how do we develop our community and not just say community to get a grant? Like, actually,
real.
Who's in my circle? I can count on being like, oh, I don't have, you know, the power done shut off, because that shit's gonna happen. You know, who's gonna have water supply? Who can I go that maybe has a generator that I can plug my phone in? Like, I got a solar powered crank charger, so at least I can power my phone if and when the power goes out, so I can, like, you know, people and like maybe it's like, hey, you know, I built a fire pit. I have some wood. I'm gonna cook a big pot of lentils on this fire pit. Who doesn't have food? If you'd like to come through, the lentil dal, you come through. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we need to be focusing on, because they don't want us to come together. And it's not just even for our community. It's for us, everybody. That's how they divide and conquer the whole race war. You know, because they're like, well, if you're a racist, then you know what I mean? Like, everyone needs to come together, because we're all on this planet together.
That's basically it. Most definitely, yo.
They're gonna burn off. But today, if we can share resources and build together, because we can envision the new planet, the new way that we want. Like, how are we going to be living without money, bartering and stuff like that? You know what I mean? So that
100.
Not just based on this. That's falling, and people haven't figured that out. When like I read a post the other day. Someone I know, bank isn't letting people know that, like, you know, if you check your RESPs, whatever, it's gone down to 0. You know what I mean? They were like, yo, I checked my RESP and it says there's no money in there. And then when you call the bank, they're like, oh, there's money. They can't prove it to you. You know what I mean? So some fuck shit's down. You know what I mean? Whoa. So, like, we need to be, and it's not just, it's several people. I posted it, and someone else was like, yo, I'm glad that you posted that, because I'm actually on the phone with them right now, because my bank balance is at 0 when there's 15 years of RESP money saved up there. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Yo, that's deep, yo.
Crazy. It is crazy.
You gotta stay informed and alert, man. Yo.
We know there's more environmental thing. We know that another 9/11 type thing is gonna happen probably in November. I'm not even gonna speak too much still.
Oh man.
I'm like, yo, like,
this is the last month.
Okay, man. Yo, that's.
Jeez. Like, they're not, you know, all the COVID thing is like, no one's teaching you about health. Your ginger, your turmeric, you know, building up your immune system. You know, everyone's like, oh, just wear a mask and wash your hands. Okay, let's do something else. Because honestly, those paper masks, that's not really stopping much. Let's do it. Being holistic. Like, you know, tell me what is, you know, people don't know that you can have tips. That's very high in vitamin C. Sumac, which is those kind of red-budded kind of things. That's really high in vitamin C. So there's stuff in our area and around we can pick and we can buy and we can boil as tea and use to boost our immune system. Nobody in the health sector or government is trying to tell you how to like be healthy so that you can fight whatever viruses, because damn well knows we are not supposed to be taking. So that vaccine is just to kill you. That's because the vaccine's not going to help you, and they're trying to mandate like you have to take the vaccine, otherwise you can't work or you can't get in here. You can't do this. No, fam. So we need to come together and figure out, like, you know, let's, you know, we can what we want for our lives, but like reparations and justice. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about reparations and justice, and not just for the youth.
Forever.
I don't know that, like, you know, that whole. They're still making it a 16 to 29 or 18 to 32 people can get funds, but what about us and other people who use out of the sectors? Like, you know what I mean? There's who are the heads of art institutions and magazines and music providers and stuff that are of our melon people. Not a lot, if any.
Thanks.
So,
right.
So it's about how we have to work together to build each other up so that we can build the future for ourselves and the future generations. You know what I mean? So we have to look beyond, like, you know, because like when I got there's other people who are gonna live after me that need sustenance, that need to know that they can shape the world. So, you know, I think
that's the
people are coming to that, hopefully.
Yeah. And the youth are the future, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? So let's make sure that whatever we're leaving them is something, you know, sustainable and something they can build on. You know, and that's why I mess with you, Kalmplex. You know what I mean? Like the same with the way the things that are important to you are important to us, and you know, it's just cool to align with people on my journey. You know, I'm blessed that like my path crossed your path and so on and so forth, and we're able to like motivate and encourage each other, man. So that's why I say thank you, man, for being our first, you know, guest. Like you really just set the tone.
Yo,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the bar now. You feel me? So
hello, wisdom, jewels, truth, yo, fam. Like, thank you so much just for your energy. It's so amazing.
You know what I mean? And
I just, you know, just trying to spread love, and like, you know, like in these times where we've been listening to music, we've been listening to like, at least I've been listening to music. I've been listening to like local artists, you know, feeling the vibe, and like it's living in a new time where like, you know, as people who love music or in music or whatever, like, you know, not being able to like have live shows and generate income through showcasing your art and touching the people, being with the people, you know, how that is going to change your art, because you know you're gonna come through different ways and stuff like that of having to think, navigate, and then just being like, oh, like literally not like how are, like I think people need to like rent trucks and have moving concerts or porch parties, you know what I mean, or like stuff in the park and whatever, you know what I mean, and like a lot of stuff. I know like mental health, you know, I know in the States more youth have died from suicide than have died from this, and nobody wants to talk about that. Like, so who are helping the people who are struggling with having to be, you know, at home with like people who may or may not be copacetic, you know, like how can we heal, you know? I think this time, hopefully, like, sorry, in this time, like people are doing the healing work to show up for themselves and to look inward, to stay off the internet sometimes. Like I took away the internet, like I took like no phone, no clock, no TV, you know.
No, nothing, man. Unplug, yo.
Just do stuff like that, you know what I mean? I think we hopefully can come to terms that we are the architects of the new paradigm, and we're not all gonna have the same idea of how it should go or what we should do, and we comprehend that like we're not all a monolith, but at least have the idea of hope that like we are creating this new world and we can imagine it in whatever way possible. That's the whole thing. That's what 2020, if anything, has showcased, that anything is literally possible. Anything's possible. So like,
that's facts. Yeah, man. Well, on that note, man, I think that's a great way to end this segment right there, man. Anything is possible. What the mind can conceive, you can achieve. Best believe that. We steadily manifesting all day, every day. We've been doing it. We're gonna continue to do it. So I just want to big you up, big up Bender as well, man. You know what I mean? Continue the energy and the vibes. But you know, before we end our show, I know you got, you know, the special bag of flyers.
I'm digging into the bag of flyers. I pulled out this flyer. I don't know if you were there.
Smash Brothers, jeez.
Smash Brothers. I think it's a good time.
Yeah, look.
Shout out Rich Kid.
Yep.
Mensa. Respect. You know. Revival. I mean, Complex.
We've been in Revival like hundreds of times.
Hundreds of times, like so many times that, just.
I like that venue, man. That's a nice vibe, yo.
Shout out to Revival. There's so many good memories there, and Yo, shout out to all our guests. Just eating healthy, thinking healthy. Maria, Colleen, Valino, so good to have you. All the people just holding us down. And yo, Kalmplex, any last shout outs, any last things you want to big up before we bounce?
Hey, Sandy. Let's see. Shout out to the Most High, first and foremost, for blessing us with life, for giving us all the opportunity to be great. You know, shout out to like Queen. I've been listening to his Afro Ignorance, High Limits Volume 1. Shout out to I was listening to that. I mean, obviously like the new electronica, The Weekend. You know, just shout out to all the local who are doing their thing in this to help heal and get us through with showcasing your work. You know, I pray that everyone is happy, healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally well, and just know that, you know, we got this. You know, shout out to Malcolm, stay relevant, and you know, our families and that help us prosper, and know that we as a people are the first, and we are the architects, and we're not going anywhere even though they want us to be, and we are resilient, and no matter what obstacles are in our way, you know, God's got us, you know, the Most High's got us. So like, you know, just believe and give up. I know, trust me, enough things have not gone my way. Enough things. I've been rejecting mad things and still, you know, not getting certain things or whatever. But you know what? We're still here. We're still thriving. You know, and three of us, you know, we've been around for time. We've seen things, and we're still here to tell stories. Don't be afraid to tell your truth, to speak your heart, and be open and just. Just love will set you free, will get you through this, and you know, hug a tree, commune with nature when you're feeling off your ground, you know, go walk barefoot on the ground, go outside in nature, and just the electronics, and just be like, you know what, let's get back to source, because source will always steer you in the right direction, and always trust your intuition. Always.
Jeez.
Yo,
trust your intuition.
Gospel.
Oh, man.
Gospel to soul food to eat, and truth to songs to sing, and words to live by. Thank you, fam.
And I just got to shout out the fact that, you know, you always give like practical wisdom, like stuff that I can just like do right now. Like it's not some abstract concept. It's like you can do this right now. You know what I mean? So salute for that, man. Practical wisdom all day. All right,
Maria, Sandy, Colleen.
Yes, big up everyone.
Everyone here, we love you. We got love.
Love. Hurry up, all the Toronto people. Yo, we'll be back here next week, 7 p.m. Same bad time, same bad channel, as we reminisce past, present, and future.
All day.
All the wisdom of the people, the community, the Most High, our ancestors, and this one's for the children and for all of us. We gonna get through this together, everyone. Thank you very much.
And yeah, man. And as you already know, man, all day SFA, man. I got to get both of y'all some new gear, man. It's like fall season. It's kind of chilly out. You know, we got like toques and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I got to make sure I like, you know, get y'all
Sandy. Yeah, yo, Kalmplex, really. Yo, very last thing. I was talking about Revival, and I was thinking, did you meet Erykah Badu at Revival when you showed her the picture of? Was that there? Where did you meet Erykah Badu?
Oh yeah, Erykah Badu.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave
last story. Last story.
So this is the Last Supper. So I did a painting of the Last Supper. So it's Rihanna, Salon, Sade, Raven Simone is Judas, Nina Simone, Josephine Baker, Beyonce, Whitney Houston, Erykah Badu. Then we got Lauryn Hill, Tina Turner, and Grace Jones. And so yeah, so I did this after Beyonce did the Super Bowl and was getting crucified, and so I recreated her as Jesus with her 12 being black women. So just you know, and then yeah, so Nipsey was having his art show, and Eric Badu was there, and gave her a copy of this, so she's got a piece of my art, and you know, we're here to support. We're here to support.
Black history. That's Black history.
Keep on shining, man. Keep shining.
Yo. Thank you for being history and making history, yo.
Yes, appreciate that, man. All right, man. Catch us next week, man. Same bat channel, bat time. Reminisce Show.
Yeah.
Big up Kalmplex, man. Legend, man. Always. Salute.